Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Cheeky Journals. If you're new here, I'm Tracy and today we're going to be making some tags and I'm going to use these printables from 49dragonflies. I've only chosen 3 of her printables today, so we're going to use very little supplies and we're going to make something that looks really good in my opinion. I love these tags, so that's how I've printed them on an A4 and they're so cute and small, so I think this will be perfect if you've got a mini or a smaller journal. But I wanted to make them slightly bigger, so I've enlarged them and printed them on an A3 paper, and I absolutely love this size. What makes this easy to turn it into a tag is that the background's already done for you, so you don't have to add that much to it to make it look good. So if you don't have enough time or you want to do something really quickly or you don't like making backgrounds, this is a very good option to use. And for my focal point, I'm going to use these birds and also the artist quotes. So I'm just going to cut these out and then I'll get back to you. But I think before I cut them out, let me just show you what I'm also planning to use. I'm also going to be using some stamps. I love using postage stamps. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you will know that. I've pulled out some music paper. I was thinking of doing those hole reinforcements with them. And then of course I've got some ink, some distress ink to distress the edges. I have tea dye. I might use vintage photo, I'm not sure. So that is an option as well. And then I've just got some archival ink in black coffee and in an I'm struggling to say this, and in a red geranium. And I don't know if I'm going to use these. I've just pulled them out in case I want to use them because I really love that green stamp on there. And I don't have green ink, but I think with those we can mimic it on the rest if we would like to. So I've got similar stamps. I think that one's very similar to it and this one, so we might use some of these. I hope you'll be able to see that there might be a reflection on it, or not might, I think there's definitely a reflection on it. And then I've got some gold paint and some modeling paste. So I am thinking of using this with one of my stencils, but I'm still going to decide on this once we've put everything together. It's just to create more layers, but you really don't have to do it. And then of course with that, I'm going to use this palette knife. And then I've got a few tools. Of course, you're going to need a scissors, and I've got a hole punch and this circular punch. I'm not sure what size that is. And then just the glue that I'm planning to use would be one of these two. Maybe I'll be using both. I sort of see while I'm busy doing it what I'm in the mood for. So I'm going to cut this out and then I'll get back to you soon. After cutting out these tags, I think I'm going to back them on some cardstock. This is completely optional. It depends how thick you would like them to be. I want them to be slightly thicker than what they are. I just want to see, I don't want to waste any paper. I'm definitely not going to get any out on that. I might get 3 out like this. And then get 2 out over there, so at least I'm getting 5. So I think we'll have to use 2 pieces of cardstock. I'm just going to stick it with this quick adhesive 450 drying glue. Ooh, that's a bit too much. I have mentioned before that I love using this glue. I did use a bit too much over there though. You can see it popping out there. I'm just going to get something to dab that up. It's a new glue, so it comes out extremely quickly. But it's okay because we're going to cut it out anyway, so you won't be able to see that glue mark on there. So let me know down below in the comments what's your favorite ephemera to make. I think mine is tags. I love making tags and those index cards or journaling cards, and I love making my own backgrounds, but it's also fun to work on a background that's already done, like these tags. It takes out that extra work and you can get ephemera done fairly quickly. I'm also thinking of trying out a new glue today. It's a Uhu glue stick. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. I always get the Bostik one and it's not bad. It does the job, but it's not my favorite. So I thought I'll try a different brand, and I have opened it up and I think it's going to be good. It reminds me of Prit, and I love using Prit, but we don't get Prit in Australia. We used to get it in South Africa, and that was always my go-to glue. It was quite expensive though compared to some of the other glue, but you just couldn't beat it. I think you also get Prit in the UK. Do you get it in the United States and in Europe? If you're from there, let me know what you think. What's your favorite glue stick to use? I'm not worrying about sticking it straight because we're going to cut it out anyway and then you won't be able to tell. And it's so sad, but now I'm going to have to like waste a whole card just for this one. But it is what it is. It's okay. We'll use it for something else the rest of the card. It won't go to waste. There we go. And now we can cut it out. Oh, I wonder if I should wait for it to dry for a minute. I don't have to, but I always prefer just a few seconds. I'm going to give it a few seconds to dry and then I'm going to come back and cut it out. Right, I'm back and I think it's going to be good enough. It was anyway just a courtesy for me to leave it to dry. It isn't really necessary. I find cutting to be really boring. I always need to do something while I cut. If I know I've got a lot of cutting, I'll always switch on my iPad and watch some YouTube videos or something on Netflix, or just need something in the background. Even a podcast will do. Okay, so let's start off by first punching the holes in each of these before we decorate them, and I'm just going to guess where the middle is. I think around about there. Let's hope it's a good guess. And I also want to reinforce these holes that I'm punching. And for that, I'm going to use music paper. And I'm just going to use this hole punch. And I'm going to turn it around so I can see what I'm going to get. And I'm going to use the hole punch actually again to punch a hole in to go on top of that. And again, I'm totally just guessing where that middle is. If you are really pedantic and you want to be specific, then you can take your pencil and just dot where the middle is, and then make sure that pencil dot is in the middle of your hole punch, especially if you turn it around and you look through there. So I think I'm going to go for that. I've got 6 tags there, so I need 6 of them. I might make 1 or 2 extra, just in case I make a boo-boo. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just cut this off so I can get to those notes over there. I like that one. Let's try and get more of these in. Okay, last one, because that's more than enough. I don't even need that. And let's see which side we like the most. Definitely this side. This is a really easy way to make your own hole reinforcers instead of going and buying some. And I think it also makes it unique. You can choose any print that you would like. You can also use like a book page with text on, or you could use some colored paper if you want it to be a specific color, or some scrapbook paper. Ooh, that one's definitely not straight. It's not going to make the cut. I don't mind them not being exact, but that one might be just too far off. And for these, I'm just going to use the glue stick, the Uhu glue stick. I think that's how you pronounce it. It really reminds me of Prit. Oh, there is something I actually want to do before sticking it. I just remembered. Take it off, take it off, take it off. I want to stain it. That's what I want to do. I'm just going to use this tea dye shade. I wanted to ask you, what's your favorite distress ink? And do you prefer distress oxide or distress ink? I don't own any Distress Oxide inks. I've only got the Distress ink, so that's all that I've used that I can talk about, and I love them. But I know the Oxide inks are really popular now, or it's been actually for quite some time now when it was released. But I only reach for a few colors always, and I just think it's because of the ephemera that I make that I tend to use more of the browns and the blacks. I've got a few colors, but not an exuberant amount. I think that's going to be enough because we've got 2, 4, 5, yep, 6. We've got 6, so we don't need to distress those. Now let's try again. And I did mention I've only picked 6 tags. I think I mentioned it. I'm not sure. Oh no, I need to distress this because I'm using this side and I haven't distressed it yet. I've distressed the other side and then I changed it over and decided to put glue on that side. Luckily I noticed it. But what was I saying? Oh, I've only picked 6 tags to use. So I've gone for more of the brown tags. Some of them are brown and some of them have a little bit of grey. And I've picked 6 that have more brown in them, just so that they look more like a set. But I mean, this one's got more grey in it than, for example, that one. And it really fits well still together. But I've just cut out 6 birds that I want to use. So I only had to pick 6 tags. I just got tired of doing the fussy cutting. So after 6 birds, I was calling it quits and thinking that's more than enough to make tags with. Okay, now I think we're going to do more distressing. Let me just close this glue. I really like that glue. I think that's going to be the glue that I'm getting from now on. Let's get that out the way. And I'm going back in again with this distress ink in the tea dye color. And I'm just going to go around really quickly and distress the edges just to bring in more definition to the tags. It also gives it a very, it softens the look of it. It doesn't just end in a very blunt way. If you add this, it defines it, but also softens the tag. It seems more finished. I don't always distress everything that I make. There are things that I just leave. But I think in this case with the background and the colors and using the postage stamps, which is also very vintage looking, or it is vintage. Some of them are really old. Well, it depends which stamp I'm talking about and what old means to everybody. Did you hear my tummy? My word. I hope not. My tummy's rumbling. It obviously wants to have some lunch, but I just quickly want to finish this. Okay, so now the fun part starts. Let's see what we're going to use. Let's spread these out so it just makes it easier to see what we've got. I'm going for this blue because it's going to fit really well with the bird. And let's look at some postage stamps. Pull out a few here. Maybe this green will go really well with that green stamp over there. Oh, that came together so easy. I don't think we have to do much more on here, to be honest. The background is already fantastic. And then we might later on add modeling paste to it. But for now, let's leave it to dry and go on to the next one. Okay, so for this one, I'm trying to see like which bird I think will work the best. And I think with this one, we'll go with one of these black ones, just because the bird's got black in it. I think that will work really well. Let's maybe try this one. I actually like the stamp with the bird. Everything's got black accents in, and then the stamp's also got a little bit of yellow. I wonder if I wanted to add some stamping to it. I think because we've got a lot of black going in here, I might use the black ink. Let's see. I would actually recommend doing that before sticking things, because then if your bird overlaps it's going to look like it's more part of the background. And I think these things you can put in the background or in the foreground, but I always prefer it in the background. Okay, let's move on to the next one. These are actually going super quickly, much faster than what I expected. I'm going to use the brown because we have a lot of brown going on in the background. The bird's got a bit of brown. Well, it's a red browny color, isn't it? So I think we need to again think now, if we want to add stamping, we should be doing it now, just in case something overlaps. I might go this time for a slightly larger one, a larger stamp, and with the coffee color. And I don't want the whole stamp on, just a part of it. Give me again, just put this in here. And it's fine if I cover up everything and you don't even see that. It's just creating extra texture, interest to the tag. And I think I'm going to be adding more of that stamp to this corner. Okay. I think the blue will look well with the parrot. It's always difficult to find a stamp in here because there's just like so many of them to go through. I'm looking for something with blue and I think this can work. Let's see. Yep. I really like that. Honestly, I don't think you can go wrong here with any of the things that you're going to use. You can literally put most of these stamps with any of these quotes and birds, and it's just going to work. You can, of course, add much more depending on your style and what you want to do. You can include some fabric, some ribbon, and buttons, lace, many things. You can also add paint splatters. I just want to see if I can find anything with like a red or black in it. No, nothing over there. And something that's not too big. I'm either finding something with like all black or all red, but not a combination. Let me just pull out some more and have a look. Like that could work, but it's not completely what I've got in mind. It might be a bit too bright. I wanted to definitely go into the background. I've got another pile of stamps that I might get out and just have a quick look. Oh, this can work. Yep. It's got some red and some black in it. That can definitely work. Like that looks so much, I don't know, like that looks good, but it's not exactly what I'm looking for. I think this is going to be the best. You know, I think we actually need to do some stamping on this one because there is not as much in the background than with that one. That one I didn't do stamping because there is quite a lot happening there, but we've got a good opportunity here to add some interest. Now, where's that stamp that I used earlier on? I should put my stamps back properly because that's how I lose them. There we go. I've got it. Okay, so I'm not going to put a lot of ink on here. Where do you think we're going to put it? Where do I want it to go? Thinking somewhere on this side. And maybe another one there. And this is how I sometimes clean my stamps, and most of us do it, so don't judge me. I love it if part of the bird is like under the tag and a part of it's over the top. Oh, both of those actually work. Which one will we go for? I wish you can tell me. I think that one. It's very fun. It's got orange in. I don't use orange a lot. We also have some grey. And with this one, I'm not going to stamp anything on. because again I feel there is a lot in the background already. And now we just need to decide if we want to add some texture paste. That's the big question. I think we should. I think it's going to make it more interesting. Let's first get a stencil. I'm not going to add too much. Do you think? I think gold. I've added more paint than modeling paste, just hoping that the gold's going to come through more. But I definitely did dim it down with that Distress ink spray that I've used. Oh yes, I like that more than the top ones that I've done. I think that's enough on that one. Here's a close-up look of how the tags turned out. You can of course add some string or ribbon to the top. I prefer to store it without any trim to it. It just makes it easier because it's flat. And then before I use it, I'll add something of that sort to the tag. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.